What if just 7 days could change your life forever? Your life doesn't improve by accident, it improves by action. They say it takes 21 days to build a habit, but what if I told you that just 7 days of intentional focus could become the breakthrough you've been waiting for? Most people spend months, sometimes years, trapped in a loop. They wake up tired, lose the day chasing distractions, make promises they never keep, and quietly hope that somehow things will just get better. I know what that feels like. I've been there, desperate for a change, but overwhelmed and unsure where to start. I didn't transform my life overnight. I didn't stumble on some magical secret or win the lottery. What I did was something small but powerful. I committed to just 5 simple habits, small, doable shifts. 1 week, that's it. But those habits lit a fire. They gave me back my energy, my time, and most importantly, my belief in myself. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Because what actually works, momentum, tiny wins, daily discipline, these aren't just changes to your schedule, they're changes to your identity. So, if you're feeling stuck, if you're tired of repeating the same patterns, and you're ready to finally take back control, this is for you. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact 5 habits that changed my life in just 7 days. Stay with me, because I'll show you how to start small, stay consistent, and build a life you're proud of, one habit at a time. Let's dive in. Habit #1. Start with one habit that matters most. Here's the truth. Most people fail at change because they try to change everything at once. They get inspired, feel that motivational rush, and suddenly want to fix their sleep, their fitness, their finances, their mindset, and their relationships all at the same time. Sound familiar? But real, lasting transformation doesn't come from giant overhauls. It comes from focusing on one small thing and doing it consistently until it becomes part of who you are. When I hit my breaking point, when I was done living on autopilot, didn't try to rebuild my entire life. I chose one habit, just one. I told myself, if I can stick to this for just 1 week, I'll prove to myself that real change is possible. And that single decision, that was the turning point. You don't need 10 new habits. You need one habit repeated 10 times, because consistency will always beat intensity. Let's take a look at James Clear, the best-selling author of Atomic Habits. Before he became one of the most respected voices in personal development, he wasn't chasing fame or setting huge goals. He started with a simple commitment: write 1 page per day, just 1 page, every single day. And that habit, done with unwavering consistency, changed his life. Why? Because he understood a truth most people overlook: small actions done repeatedly create massive results over time. Discipline isn't something you build in a day. It's something you build every day, with every choice you make. And here's what most people miss. They think change has to be big to be meaningful. But big rarely lasts. What lasts is what's sustainable. And sustainable means simple. 1 push-up, 1 page. It may sound too small to matter, but that's the point. You're lowering resistance. You're making it too easy to fail. Once you stack a few days together, 2, 3, 5, you start to feel different. You're not just trying to change anymore. You're becoming someone new. You're living with intention. You're building a new identity. Here's how to put that into action. Don't make a list of 10 things. Don't overwhelm yourself with apps and goals and journals. Pick one habit, make it small, make it daily, make it matter. Want to read more? Start with 10 pages. Want to get fit? Commit to 5 minutes of movement. Want better mornings? Wake up just 15 minutes earlier. Don't try to change the world overnight. Just win the next 7 days. Something incredibly powerful about keeping a promise to yourself. When you say, I'm going to do this, and then actually follow through, especially when no one else sees it too, begin to build something deeper than momentum. You start to build self-trust, and self-trust, that's the foundation for everything. Because once you begin to believe in your own word, your own ability to follow through, you stop relying on motivation. You stop needing external validation. You become the kind of person who simply shows up and keeps showing up. That's where true confidence comes from, not from perfection, but from consistency. So let this be your first move. Pick one habit that aligns with the kind of life you want to create. Commit to it every single day for just 7 days. No excuses, no overthinking. You're not aiming for some massive transformation right now. You're aiming for something much more powerful, proof that you can stick to what you said you'd do. And when that habit becomes real, when it clicks, you'll have a solid foundation to build anything else on. Because the very first habit you build isn't waking up early. It's not reading. It's not even exercising. It's this: showing up for yourself. And once you master that, everything else becomes possible. Habit number 2, prioritize small, consistent actions. There's a myth that keeps circling in the world of personal development. This idea that one big life-changing moment is all it takes. One flash of brilliance, one epic breakthrough, one single spark that magically shifts everything. And yes, those moments exist, but they are rare. What's far more common and far more powerful is something quieter, small, consistent effort, tiny decisions, little wins. The stuff that doesn't make headlines but changes everything over time. If you're trying to shift your habits, chase a dream, or rebuild your mindset, don't wait around for motivation to strike. Don't wait for the right time or the perfect day. Most people waste months, even years, waiting to feel ready, but motivation, it's unreliable. What you really need is discipline. And discipline is built on consistency. It's not about how much you do on your best days. It's about what you do on your hardest days, especially when you don't feel like it. Let me give you a real-life example. Jerry Seinfeld, one of the most successful comedians in history, didn't build his career by writing genius material in one weekend. Instead, he did something incredibly simple. Every single day he sat down and wrote jokes, and each time he did, he marked an X on his wall calendar. His one rule: don't break the chain. One joke a day, one mark on the calendar, one small win. That's what built his skills, his confidence, and eventually his legacy. And this principle, it works in every area of life. Want to get in shape? One workout won't change your body, but one daily workout will don't want to grow your business. One call might get ignored, but one daily call builds momentum, connections, and opportunities. Want stronger relationships? One deep conversation every evening can strengthen bonds that last a lifetime. Here's the secret: repetition beats intensity. Always. The reason small habits work so well is because they fly under the radar of your resistance. They don't trigger fear. They don't overwhelm you. They're manageable, which means you're far more likely to actually do them. And the more you repeat them, the easier they become. You start building rhythm. You build trust in your own consistency. And you become the kind of person who doesn't just intend to follow through. You actually do. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they try to do too much too fast and burn out. They think progress has to be huge to be meaningful, but it's not. It's the little things, the easy to overlook things that create the biggest changes over time. We just explored how small, consistent actions, not bursts of intensity, are what truly shape lasting change. Now let's talk about what that actually looks like in your life, because who you are isn't defined by a single day of effort. It's defined by what you repeat day in and day out. One great day won't change your life, but 100 consistent days, that will change everything. Let's make this real. Think about one area of your life that feels stuck. Is it your finances, your energy levels, your confidence, your health, or mindset? Now, instead of trying to fix everything at once, ask yourself a simple question: what's one small action I can do every day that would move that part of my life in a better direction? Not something dramatic, not a 5-hour grind session or a big commitment. Something so simple, so small you can't talk yourself out of it, and then do it every day. Track it, mark it, don't skip. Treat it like brushing your teeth or flipping off the lights before bed. It might not seem like much at first, but don't be fooled by the simplicity. These tiny actions compound just like water dripping onto stone. They wear away resistance, reshape your mindset, and quietly build real, lasting change. But here's what most people miss. They ignore the small wins. They obsess over everything they haven't done yet. They beat themselves up over what's still missing, still broken. Instead, flip the script. When you notice and celebrate progressive in the tiniest step, you reinforce that habit. You start feeling momentum. You start believing in yourself. again, and that belief. That's fuel. Now pause for a second. Really imagine this. What would your life look like 1 month from now if you've committed to just one small action every day? What about 6 months? 1 year? It's not about perfection. It's not about swinging for the fences every time. It's about showing up consistently, regardless of how you feel. Because here's the truth. Small actions done daily are more powerful than random bursts of inspiration. They build habits, they build trust with yourself, they build a kind of life that doesn't just look good, feels good, because you earned it. It doesn't matter how slow your progress seems. What matters is that you keep going. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, tempted to do it all, or give up entirely to cause, take a breath and remember Seinfeld's rule: don't break the chain. 1x a day, 1 action, 1 win. That's how confidence is built. That's how legacies are made. Start small. Start now. Just don't stop. In the last section, we talked about the power of showing up consistently. But even when you're committed, there's one invisible force that can silently steal your momentum: distraction. You don't need to delete every app on your phone. You don't have to vanish from the world or live in a cabin in the woods. But you do need boundaries clear, intentional boundaries to protect your focus, because distractions aren't just about technology. They come from everywhere: people, clutter, noise, poor habits, and even our own thoughts. So here's the real question: what's pulling your attention away from the life you're trying to build? It might be endless scrolling. It might be constantly responding to others before taking care of yourself. It might be jumping from one half-finished task to the next, feeling busy but never actually progressing. Whatever it is, it's time to fix it. Start small. Choose one block of time each day for deep, focused work. It could be 30 minutes, maybe 60, maybe 2 hours. What matters is that you make that time sacred. During this window, no notifications, no multitasking, no interruptions. Put your phone in another room, close your email. Let people know you're unavailable. This isn't selfish. This isn't rude. This is being responsible with your attention, because your focus is one of the most valuable things you own. Every time you protect it, you move a step closer to your goals. Every time you let it slip, you drift further from your potential. Here's the truth. You don't need more time, but they lose it to things that don't matter. A Netflix binge, an hour of social media, a quick scroll that turns into a black hole. These things feel like rest, but leave you drained and empty. They don't feed your future, they feed your avoidance. So here's a challenge. Track your time for 1 day. Just one. Write down how you spend each hour. You might be shocked at how much time simply disappears. And once you see it, you can take it back. Imagine reclaiming just 2 hours a day for focused, intentional work. That's 60 hours a month, 720 hours a year. That's nearly a full month of progress unlocked, not by working harder, but by working smarter. Focus doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. So start designing. Clean your workspace. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Use website blockers or Pomodoro timers. Most importantly, train your brain. Like a muscle, the more you practice focus, the stronger it becomes. And this isn't about perfection. You're human. You'll get distracted. That's normal. What matters is having a system to bring yourself back. A reset button, a quick breath, a moment to pause, refocus, and return. Because over time, you'll notice something powerful. You're not constantly reacting anymore. You're not jumping every time your phone lights up. You're not letting the world pull you in every direction. You're in control, no distractions. Just presence. Do that consistently, and you'll start seeing results faster than you imagined. It's your unfair advantage. And if you protect it fiercely, it will take you places that distractions never could. We just talked about the importance of designing focus into your life. But even the sharpest focus can't help you if your body is running on empty. That's why we need to talk about the foundation of everything: your health. Arianna Huffington found this out the hard way at the height of her success. While building one of the most influential media platforms in the world, she collapsed right at her desk. Her body had simply had enough. That moment forced her to stop and reevaluate everything. And what she realized was something many of us overlook. No, achievement is worth trading your well-being. From that point forward, she became a loud, passionate advocate for sleep, self-care, and physical health, not as indulgences, but as essentials, non-negotiables. But you don't have to wait for a collapse to learn this lesson. You can make the shift now intentionally. Here's the truth. Your body is your engine. If that engine breaks down, your goals stall, your motivation dims, your clarity disappears. And just like a car needs routine maintenance, not just when something's broken, so do you. Every part of your energy, discipline, creativity, and resilience flows directly from your physical state. If you feel drained, foggy, or unmotivated, it doesn't mean you're lazy. It might just mean you're exhausted. Too many people beat themselves up for not having the drive to sprint when, really, they've been running on fumes for far too long. This is why your health must come first, because when your body feels strong, your mind becomes sharper. You're calmer under pressure, clearer in thought, and more optimistic about what's ahead. Suddenly, that overwhelming task feels doable. That ambitious goal feels within reach. You don't have to force motivation. Feel it, and know you don't need to become a fitness influencer. You don't need a fancy gym, a six-pack, or a perfectly organic meal plan. What you need is the basics. Done daily. Movement, hydration, sleep, fuel, rest, stillness. The simple things that most people skip but that unlock everything else. Start small. Take a 20-minute walk. Do a few push-ups, squats, or planks at home. Drink more water. Cut back on the processed food. And most importantly, get 7 to 8 hours of real high-quality sleep. That's it. No extremes. Just a commitment to the essentials. And if your job has you sitting all day, is even more critical. Your brain wasn't built to thrive in a still, inactive body. When you move, you activate your brain. You clear out mental fog. You release stress. You reset your nervous system. And that reset, it matters. You're sending yourself a loud message. I matter. That mindset starts to seep into every area of your life. You stop accepting low standards. It's unstoppable. Think of it this way. Your health isn't a cost, it's an investment. You start to look better, you start to believe again. And that belief, after work or a short midday break, make it non-negotiable. Stick with it for 1 week. Then, stack on top of that, better sleep, cleaner meals, more water. Don't wait for a breakdown to take your health seriously. Don't wait for burnout to. Start protecting your energy. Choose today to treat your body like the powerhouse it is. Fuel it, strengthen it, respect it, and it will return the favor by giving you the energy to chase down every dream, not just for how it makes you look, but for how it makes you live. Now that we've grounded our momentum in strong physical health, there's one more shift that can elevate everything else. One habit that changes how you see yourself. Tracking your progress. Because while the big milestones, landing the job, reaching the goal weight, launching the business deserve celebration, they're not what keeps you going. What really fuels growth. What builds confidence that actually lasts. It's the small wins. The quiet victories no one sees. The tiny acts of discipline that feel insignificant in the moment, but add up to something massive over time. See, confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn. And you earn it by keeping promises to yourself as when it's hard. Every single time you follow through, even in a small way, you're sending a signal to your brain. I can count on me. That's where belief is built. Not in shouting affirmations, but in showing up again and again. Let me take you back in time for a powerful example. Benjamin Franklin, long before productivity apps or digital planners, developed a personal tracking system to cultivate his character. He identified 13 virtues he wanted to master, such as humility, temperance, and industry. Each day, he recorded whether he had lived up to those values. Then, he reviewed his progress, weekly reflecting, adjusting, and refining. That simple process, tracking and reviewing, helped him grow into one of the most respected minds in history. Why? Because he understood something that most people overlook. What gets tracked gets improved. When you don't track progress, you lose sight of it. Even if you're growing, it feels like you're standing still. You start to doubt yourself. You downplay your progress. And over time, that quiet doubt eats away at your motivation. But when you can see your wins written down, checked off, recorded with intentions, something shifts. You feel momentum. And momentum, my friend, breeds motivation. So, let's talk. about how to put this into action. You don't need a complicated system. Start with a simple habit tracker. Use a notebook, a whiteboard, an app, or even a sticky note every day. Write down one win. It could be anything. You drank an extra glass of water, you finished a workout. You avoided a distraction. You followed through on a task you didn't want to do. That's it. Record it. Reflect on it. Over time, these small notes become your story, and that story changes your identity. You stop saying, "I never follow through." You start saying, "I'm someone who keeps going." That mental shift is everything. This works in every area of life. Want to save more money? Track every time you skip an unnecessary purchase. Want to improve your fitness? Log every workout, no matter how short. Want to expand your mind? Write down every book, podcast, or journal entry you complete. The win doesn't need to be huge. It just needs to be real. And here's the magic. When you track small wins, you don't just build confidence, you build resilience. Because let's be honest, there will be tough days. Days when progress feels invisible. Days when motivation is nowhere to be found. But if you've been tracking, you have proof that you're moving forward. You can flip back through your notes and say, "Today was rough, but look how far I've come. I'm not giving up now." And that's exactly how you push through when most people stop. There's something deeply fulfilling about closing your day with even a tiny win. You go to bed knowing you didn't just exist, you showed up. That's where fulfillment begins. Not in the finish line, but in the process. And here's the truth. No one tells you. The world won't always applaud your discipline. No one throws a party when you resist temptation, wake up early, or choose growth over comfort. That applause, it has to come from you. When you track your progress, you give yourself the credit you deserve. You become your own coach, your own cheerleader, your own fuel source. So here's your challenge. Track one win a day. Just one for 7 days at the end of the week. Read them back. You'll be surprised by how much you've done. More importantly, feel it. That shift, that spark, that proof that change is happening. Because success isn't built in grand leaps. It's built in quiet, consistent effort. In small wins no one claps for, but that you commit to anyway. Track them, celebrate them. Build your confidence brick by brick. And before long, you'll look around and realize you've become someone unstoppable. After all, we've uncovered about small wins, about showing up for yourself. It brings us to this final truth. You're not just absorbing ideas anymore. You're ready to apply them. Because if you've stayed with me this far, there's something inside you that's not just curious, it's committed. There's a quiet, steady voice in you that's whispering, this is your moment. Maybe for the first time in a long time, you're starting to believe that real change isn't just for other people. It's for you. And it doesn't live in some distant future. It starts here, in small, powerful steps. Let's take a moment to reflect and tie everything together. You began by choosing one habit that matters. Not 10, not a full life overhaul. Just one anchor. Habit, something small, consistent, and meaningful. Because that's where real progress starts, with clarity, not chaos. Then you learned to prioritize small, consistent actions. Because change doesn't come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do every single day, especially when no one's watching. That's how effort turns into identity. Next, you made the bold decision to cut distractions and fiercely guard your focus. You recognized that your attention is your most valuable asset. And you started using it on what truly matters, instead of letting the world spend it for you. Then you remembered to take care of your health first, not as an afterthought, but as the foundation for everything else. Because when your body is strong, your mind is clear, and a clear mind makes courageous decisions. And finally, you committed to tracking your small wins, not to seek external validation, but to prove to yourself day by day that you are growing, that you're showing up, that you're becoming who you were meant to be. Now, let me ask you something real. What if you actually did this? Not just in theory, not just as inspiration, but in practice. What if you gave yourself 7 days? Just one week to apply everything you've learned here. What would your life look like 1 week from now? Would you feel more grounded, more confident, more in control? You already know the answer, don't you? So don't wait for the perfect time. Don't. Wait for the right mood, the right tools, or the right motivation. The most powerful move you can make is to start right now, right here, exactly as you are, because a better life isn't built in one big moment of inspiration. It's built through daily choices, quiet commitments, daily wins no one claps for, but that ultimately change everything. So, here's the challenge. Give yourself that 1 week. Just one dot. Show up for your goals. Show up for your health. Show up for your future. And when those 7 days are over, you won't just feel different. You'll be different, because the life you want, it's waiting on the other side of your discipline. So start with one habit. Stay consistent. Stay focused. Take care of your body. Track your wins. Believe in yourself even when it's quiet. And when you do, you won't just change your week, you'll change your life. So, if this video resonated with you even just a little, here's what I want you to do next. Pick one habit. Commit to 7 days. Track your progress and notice how it begins to shift your energy, your focus, and your belief in yourself. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up, because when you do, you're not just changing your week, you're building momentum for the rest of your life. And hi, if you found value in this message, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below telling me what's the one habit you're going to start this week. I read every single comment and I'm rooting for you. Remember, discipline is a skill, consistency is a choice, and change, it starts the moment you decide to begin. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay focused, stay consistent, and keep becoming the person you were meant to be.